Hey, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back to Lone Wolf Picker. My name's Brett, and this is going to be a show of my autographs that I got through the week. It was a very slow week. I only got 4, but there was one really, really awesome return. Now, I kind of teased last week that I would have in-person autographs and probably some photos of Eric Dickerson, Christian Okoye, Bill Madlock, and Billy Sims. And I had been messaging my friend who promotes these shows for a couple of months, letting him know I'd be down back in the St. Louis area. Hadn't heard from him at all, so I was like, okay, I'll be there. And late Thursday night, got a message from him that said, hey, somehow lost your phone number, but we don't need you this weekend. Really bummed. Not, last minute, just that really kind of stinks when somebody lets you know last minute they don't need you. But, I hope he had a good show. I did not show up. He said, hey, stop by if you're around. Well, I wasn't that close, so. But, sorry for that tease, but hopefully this next Monday when I get back from the Comic-Con convention up in Chicago, C2E2, I'll have some different autographs for you, so. All right, so let's get started with this week. Got a few things I want to share with you. But first up would be Derek Cope. Oh, I guess the hats. You're wondering why I'm showing the hats. So if you haven't figured this one out, if you're a TTMer, you know this is Pat Neshek. He went to Butler University. My father-in-law was a huge Butler Bulldog basketball fan. Just huge. And he was also a huge Indianapolis Indians fan. He passed away 13 years ago. But this hat, after I found out about Pat and all the things that he would do through the mail, I bought this hat probably, I want to say, 5 years ago there in Indianapolis and sent it to him. I also sent him some cards because sometimes he looks for different autographs, and I looked through his list and I had a few guys that he needed, so I sent those cards to him. And in return, he returned the hat, and you can see it says Pat Neshek, number 17, 2000-2002, Go Bulldogs. And he sent me this, he sent me my hat back signed and some cards back. I don't know which cards, but I do remember the hat. And then the hat from the Indianapolis Indians, this is their newer version. I think they're even different from this because this is, I believe, when the Brewers had them. In fact, I know it is because that's Ben Sheets. And we happened to go to this game as they were sending him off to the majors. He had found out he got called up. And so the Indianapolis Indians had a huge sheet cake made for him that said, congratulations, welcome to the show. And he stood by the cake and signed autographs before the game started. So I didn't have anything on me because I didn't know. So I had him sign my hat. And I'm glad he didn't turn it over because obviously I'd been wearing it for a while, as you can see. But yeah, no, these are cool. These are the only 2 hats I have signed in my collection. So they're a little hard to take care of, but try and keep the dust off of them. All right, back to Derek Cope. So this is going to be part of the Junk Wax Challenge at Caleb Cards. And the only one that's going to count is race number 1 that he won, the Daytona 500 that year. And so I sent him that. He signed that. And then I added the other 2 cards from my collection that I have. And he was a really quick turnaround. I tell you, if you've never sent to any NASCAR guys, they are quick. A lot of them are. There's a few that take a while, but I consider anywhere under 60 days quick. So, and Derek came in under 30, so that was even better. So yeah, that's kind of a cool return. I have a NASCAR binder that maybe someday I'll break out and show you. The next one. So I do like the minor league sets and teams and stuff like that. So this is Fausto Tejero, I think I pronounced that right. Never really saw him play. Part of the Quad City Angels, and that would be why. Just too far away. They never came to Indianapolis, where we would go to games. But like I said, I just love the minor leagues. I think they play a little bit harder than major leagues do because they're trying to make it. Some of you might chime in whether that's still the case. It's been a while since I've been to a minor league game, but I just remember what they used to be like. So, but I bought this team set, broke it down to see who would sign and who didn't. And Fausto was one of the guys that did have some successes. So I sent this out in January, and he returned it. So that was kind of a cool return. I am going to save the best for last. So this is Dave Schwartzbaugh, former Cub, minor leaguer. This is an Iowa card from I want to say 95. I think that's what the most, 98, sorry. I had bought this team set along with a few other ones and decided to break it down. Would have been nice to try and get all of these signed. I've got a lot of them signed, but Mr. Glenn Adams, who used to play for the Minnesota Twins, decided to keep his card, and that's fine. It may have not been one that he had seen in his collection, because I know that these guys don't always get the cards when they're printed up. So that's kind of a crapshoot when they get their pictures taken and they put them on cards. I know nowadays it's probably a little different, but back in the early days of the baseball card collecting, the guys never got their cards. So that's kind of cool. Dave signed that. That'll go in my Cubs binder. Don't really have a count on how many Cubs cards and photographs and things I have signed, but that'll be a nice collection. Now this return, anybody who grew up in the late 70s and into the 80s will probably appreciate this more than most people. But I sent to Cheryl Ladd last year, and I had seen different hits where she did sign, where she didn't sign, she returned unsigned, and I kind of forgot how many things I was sending him. And so I did have that photo, and I had this one, and she personalized it to Brett, and that's from that is from an episode of Charlie's Angels. And then last year, visiting some friends, we went to a show near Chicago, and they had Charlie's Angels cards. And so she signed all these for me too. So she signs, guys, and her address is, she lives in Texas. So, and I think I shared Jacqueline Smith a couple of months ago, maybe even sooner than that. Jacqueline actually signed a card that Cheryl's on, so I probably will pull that card and send it to Cheryl in a few months, just to have a double signature on it. So that was a good return after I got that earlier in the week, so it didn't really have any kind of effect on my weekend, but it's still to get one of your favorite people to watch on TV when I was a early teen into my teenage years. Now, one of the things I wanted to share, and I don't think I've shared this before, but during the pandemic, let me move my guys here. It'll be a little bit longer video today, so thanks for hanging with me. So during the pandemic, I started to do something kind of interesting, and that was to put together a 1991 top set together by hand. I hadn't done that in years, and some of you are probably wondering, well, okay, no big deal. And then some of you are probably wondering, why do you have two Cal Ripkens on the front page? And there is a website. Well, there's several sites that'll give you variation in errors. And I decided to pull that website up and just look, because I like odd stuff. And so on the back of this one, down by, and I can show you, I've got a Dave Stewart card here that's free. And I'm going to explain that 40 too here in a minute. So down here on the bottom, underneath the 677 walks for Dave Stewart, you can see a B and an asterisk, and then it says 1991 Topps Company. Well, there's all kinds of different print runs. Well, this one had the E and F printed on the bottom, and this one just had the F printed on the bottom. And the only thing that I can figure out is that during the print run, they may have left some of the E, the E before they took it off. Hard telling with Topps because they do so many, odd things anyways. Think back to 2007 when somebody, superimposed or photoshopped President Bush on Derek Jeter's card. So as you can see though, on the next page, we've got Darren Fletcher. There's no code on the bottom of this card. Where this card does have a code. And then you see Greg Olson. Well, then you see him again, and it says bold on there. Well, I need to go through my book and change it, because I'm going to show you something here real quick. Now, the only thing I don't have is a black light. So, in Topps that year, your cards will have two different backs. You'll have a lighter version and then the darker version. If some of you don't know this version right here, if you get a black light, it glows in the dark. These were in, the most of where I found these in were the giant packs that had anywhere from, I think they were 60 cards for 99 cents, the cello packs. Whereas these came in the regular box, 36 packs per box. I've opened several of these, and actually I bid on some this weekend, and I did it just for the fact that they're for the set. And you can see, this is binder one, and how many different, just to go through, like there's Wally Joyner, regular, and there's bold. A lot of these just have the bold, but there's some, okay, sorry, it's sideways, but this is Dwight Jones. He had an error printed on the back of his. And you see the error is 162 games in 1982 and led the league. And then the corrected version was 162 games in 1982, tied the league. So I did stuff like that, and then it seemed like it wasn't every checklist, but it seemed like every checklist had some kind of error on it. And there's one checklist that it'll just give you headaches, and it's because it's got several different variations on it. But I also bought these cards because Doug Drabeck and Chris Hoyles have, and I don't want to, I don't know to go through and try and find them. But let's just say, like on this Jim Acker card, you see that inner box is a dark blue and the outer one's a light blue. Well, the inner box on Doug Drabeck's card is black. And then there's one out there that's white. And on Chris Hoyles, I believe it's the same. And I don't have either one of those cards. eBay has them listed at $15 a pop. I don't want to pay $15 unless I really, really have to. I'd rather find them by doing what I'm doing here, and I'm going to show you in a second. But it's just kind of cool. The one thing I do regret, and I'll probably go back through my old ones and look, is pull the gum stained ones out and put them in this set as well, because hey, it's a variation in my mind. And before you're wondering, this is just binder one. I do have a second binder that's off on the shelf. I didn't want to pull both of them, but this isn't even a full set, so that'll tell you. I forget who the last card is on this one, but this weekend, being down in the St. Louis area, sometimes the auctions go cheaper online, and so I picked up a box of 1991 Topps cards to go through. Now, the good thing about this is they're all in numerical order already, so I don't have to sort them. So that is awesome. So I picked these up. I also picked up some 1995 Fleer cards. 95, I was in college, so I didn't really have a chance to buy a lot of cards back then. So I picked that up just to see, a lot of what the set looked like, even though I've seen a lot of them. But then another auction that I won, and I do have the cards here with me. The auction title was a little off because it said football cards plus some bears. Well, it should have just said bears, because I got a 400 count box that's kind of full, and then I've got an 800 count box, and these are all bears. Chicago Bears. Love my Bears. I sorted these while I was waiting for my son at work this weekend. And so yeah, just a little bit of thing of what I did this weekend while I made the trip to St. Louis anyways. So I hope you like this. It's a little bit longer than normal. Wish me luck on finding the cards I'm missing for the 1991 Topps, what I call a complete set. Errors and variations and whatnot, whatever I can find. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to, follow for more videos. The notification button, it's up to you. The people that I follow, I don't I don't click it so I get a notification every time there's a new video. Otherwise, my phone would be going off like crazy. So, hope you guys have a good week. Can't wait to talk to you next week when I'll give you kind of a quick look here. I will apologize in advance to what the floor looks like, but these are the comic books that I'm taking up to Chicago for C2E2. I've already got them all organized to the authors that I want to have signed. I'm hoping you see Jim Beatty's name back there, and if you see a colored space there on the left hand side, that means those are comics that are already autographed. Those Jim Beatty comics are, if anybody collected comics in the 80s, that's the Secret Wars 1980s edition, with the number 8 with Spider-Man's new costume. He had already signed that for me, but those are the rest of the Secret Wars, so I'm very excited to get the rest of those signed. So we'll end it there. Hope you guys have a good week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.